Hey, welcome back to the Spectre Creative channel, where my big goal for this channel is to clarify questions people have about the toy industry, and hopefully my time working in the industry can do that. And likewise, I get lots of questions from subscribers on the comment section or directly through my website. And so recently got a email from Adam who asked why toy companies don't just sell product directly to customers. Obviously, this would have huge appeal, especially for adult collectors who are often having to track things down and, buy from multiple places. Why can't we just, hand a toy company all of our money and they'll just send us product? So there's kind of a yes and a no to this. Let's kind of cover the yes first. There's some low-hanging fruit, like the fact that some toy companies like Mattel have publicly available toy stores at their large corporate headquarters, places like East Aurora, New York, and El Segundo, California. And while these are open to the public, they're obviously not accessible by people who don't live in East Aurora or El Segundo. Well, I guess, you could live in Santa Monica and drive to El Segundo, but you get the point. It's not a national chain. These are just locations, and they're really used as depositories of unsellable product or overstock product that retailers maybe canceled orders for, was produced in too high of a quota. So it's kind of more of a dumping ground as a solution, if you will, versus a place to find kind of the latest hot releases. Usually, in fact, you actually do wind up finding unique things, though, that don't show up at retail, namely because this is where product is dumped when you can't sell it into retail and nobody wants to have inventory. We're going to get into that because that's a big thing too. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth tracking to these kind of stores because you can find cool stuff that doesn't show up at retail for various reasons that winds up being collectible or, very friendly for the adult collector audience. But for the most part, yeah, you're dealing with last year's toys and things that are overrun or need to be dumped because retailer won't take it. Another example is the airport stores that Mattel had. It's actually something I worked on at the very tail end of my time there. And, honestly, I don't even know if they have these anymore. But it was a big thing 10 years ago, and it was more really just meant as a branding opportunity. It really wasn't meant to sell huge amounts of product for busy travelers who need a gift on the go. Maybe you're visiting a child, maybe you are a child and need to be quieted. Then, of course, there's things like Hasbro Pulse, very similar to Mattel Creations or Matty Collector, where they both do items that are built to order, as well as exclusive product that you can't get at retail that complements retail items, and items that you can absolutely pick up at retail and pre-order if you do. So really, Adam, the subscriber asking the question originally, so this is probably the most direct way of buying product from a toy company. But likewise, you can buy this same exact product on other companies like Amazon or Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, etc., etc. So really, I think the question is, if they do this with some, why not more? Why limit it to only a few SKUs that are sold on things like HasbroPulse.com? Why not make the entire catalog of a company like Spin Master, Jax, Mattel, Hasbro, etc., etc.? Well, really, this comes down to the functionality of the business. So a company like Hasbro or Mattel, they have very large corporate towers, corporate headquarters, and they have a specific business plan. And that is not to make toys. A lot of people think that that's what these toy companies do, that they make toys and they get them to kids. There's a big difference between making a toy and designing a toy. So that's what happens. These are toy designers, not manufacturers or producers. Toys are actually produced, as most people know, overseas, usually in China, Vietnam. They're always looking for new areas because the cost to produce product, especially with labor costs going up with the demand for more complicated product. So yes, toy product is actually produced, put together, assembled, usually in China, and then sent by boat, or gosh, if you had to, airship. That's like the last thing you want to do. I'll get into that in another video. But yes, these are actually the toy makers. If anyone was going to be said to be the source of product in the chain of, retail store distribution, which is represented here. Think of that tractor in the top left being the actual manufacturer, and then behind the tractor is the toy company who has the idea of how to make the product. So you can see how far a company is from the retail end of the distribution model. Like sometimes they may not even be on the chart because they're not even making the product. You may also ask, well, what about companies like Walmart that have their own line of toy product? Aren't they just selling directly? Yes and no. It's kind of a fuzzy line there. This is more that a company like Walmart or Target, Toys R Us used to have this as well, called an in-house brand, sort of a non-branded toy. And you'll see this for common things like playsets, dolls, vehicles. This is more the company, in this case Walmart, just footing the bill for production. They didn't design these. They didn't produce them. They just paid a vendor to make them and sell them exclusively to Walmart or Target. So that's what you're seeing here. If, again, looking for an example of a toy company selling directly. Walmart isn't really a toy company, much like they have their own generic brand of cereal and, cleaning products. They also have their own generic version of toys. So that is actually then why you're not seeing toy companies selling more, is because they're not a retailer. They don't have things like the place to stock and store, all of the complicated and additional steps it takes to produce a product and sell directly to a customer. And outside of Etsy, you really don't see this. It's not a model that thrives in the business world. I mean, outside of farms selling product on the side of a road, seeing someone who actually physically makes a product and then selling it, it doesn't really work in the chain of kind of product development and retail distribution. You can't be a jack of all trades and do everything. You have to sort of choose what part of the business model you're going to be part of and do that best. And for a company like Mattel or Hasbro, what they do best is design toys. They have partners who then make them and partners who sell them. When you try to do everything, you wind up being a jack of all trades and a master of none, to quote the song. And that's more or less why toy companies don't sell product and run retail stores, because they choose to be really good toy designers, not spreading themselves too thin and trying to do everything. I hope this video clarified. Adam, I hope it answered your question. Let me know other questions people have. I love to answer them in videos I can do on this channel, and thank you for sharing, watching, and supporting. All right, see you guys in the next video.